Do 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 dee. Hey, you thought that was the co-host? Now that's what you call a co-host. Welcome to Weeaboo Wednesday, everybody. You know that I just steal anime news and put it into a video form, so that's what we're gonna do today. But today's a special day because, well, I finally hit 400 subscribers. We're gonna have a celebratory drink in celebration of this. Can't tell you what's in here, though it may be Japanese, but no, we'll just say it's apple juice. Susan. I'm not gonna do a crazy video parading the fact that we hit 400 subs, but I will say thank you guys so much for being here for these videos and staying with me because I do love making them and I love having fun with you guys, so let's keep this thing going. To us. And since we have hit 400 subscribers, would you please just like the video and then comment some sort of 400 joke? Anything you want to say, but involve 400. Let's celebrate together. Let's get into the news. The first story is actually something that I could have covered last week, but it's kind of blown up since then. Pokemon Unite is a new game coming out from the Pokemon Company, who is actually being produced by a company owned by Tencent, which is called Timi, T-I-M-I. If you don't know who Tencent is, it's probably for the best. A lot of people don't like them because they're kind of shady, but either way, this new game, if you've taken a look, it sort of just looks like a MOBA. And from what I understand, that's pretty much what it is. It's 5v5, it's free to start. You can of course purchase stuff in the game, and there's different Pokemon characters that you can play as, and of course at certain levels you unlock more abilities, and yeah, it's just like a team fight game. Though one of the interesting things about this is it's going to be playable cross-compatible from the Nintendo Switch to iOS and Android devices, which is really strange. Now, what I think is most funny about this is that the YouTube premiere of the actual trailer has more dislikes than it does likes. I don't know what's so wrong with this. I mean, I guess people don't like MOBAs, and people especially don't like Tencent, and the idea of a MOBA, Tencent, Pokemon all coming together does kind of create a weird, unholy trinity. But either way, I'll probably try it. It is free to start, so we'll see. I mean, I've played MOBA games in the past. I'm not great at them, but they are entertaining time killers. So we'll see how it pans out, but I'm not expecting much from it. And it would seem that neither is the community that has seen this trailer. Tokyo Game Show is a pretty big event that happens typically every year from what I understand. And in the previous years, it usually has brought about a mid to high 200,000, so like 250 up to 290,000 people show up at this thing physically. It would seem that like every other big convention and event, they've decided to bring this thing online, which I think is a good thing because there's usually some pretty interesting stuff that happens at Tokyo Game Show. They've announced that from the 23rd to the 27th of September, they will be holding an online event, I guess, of which exhibitors can do panels and videos and premieres, and there's even going to be some esports online tournament stuff, so if you're into that, then check it out. Either way though, one of the weird things is that the 23rd, which is the first day, is actually going to be exclusively for like business conversations and stuff, so I guess that's weird. Maybe will they not premiere that to the world? I don't know how that's gonna work, but either way, I'm excited for Tokyo Game Show. Let's hopefully see some awesome stuff this year. Man, this is crazy. The World Ends With You is getting an anime, and I'm not sure if this has been common knowledge, but it's a pretty big deal. Square Enix actually had this piece of promotional art that was supposed to be for Anime Expo this year, because it would seem that they were going to premiere this announcement at Anime Expo, but of course, since it's going to become Anime Expo Lite, which is this online event, they're still going to premiere the information, but they've already shown this little teaser image. That being said, we will be able to see some more about this at the Anime Expo Lite online video conference style thing that they're doing. Now, Anime Expo Lite will be July 3rd and 4th from what I understand, but either way, that's really soon, and this is a pretty big one because that game has a huge following. If you've never played it, it was a DS game. It was this weird sort of RPG with really interesting art. The combat is pretty weak, to be completely honest. I think the game is like very overrated, but for the time, it was certainly a must-have for the DS. I'm mostly just interested in the art direction and to see it finally being premiered as an anime, which is something that I feel like it should have had for years now. It's just so crazy to think that this franchise is 13 years old, having originally came out in 2007, and the only thing they really ever did with it was port it. They have it on smartphones, and I want to say they might have ported it to Switch, but you can buy the DS version for far less than you could the Switch version, or I don't know. My buddy was telling me that he wasn't going to buy the newer version because he could have gotten the older one for way cheaper, which makes sense. But either way, what do you guys think? Is this exciting to you? So I'm a spider. So what? Is the new anime that's going to be coming out in 2021, January to be specific. This was pushed back originally. It would seem that they finally nailed down that they're going to actually start airing it in January of 2021. So that's cool. They also released a cute new graphic for it, which is super adorable. The spider looks really cute. There's some frogs creeping up on it trying to eat it. But yeah, this is one that I always pick up when I go to the manga section. I say this about a lot of stuff, but I always pick it up and kind of laugh at it because it's cute and the spider's adorable. But still, this anime will be happening, and it's going to run for 6 months, which is incredibly long. I didn't even know that that was like a thing, but they listed it as running for like 2/4 of a year, which is like, wait, what? They gauge things that way? I guess. I don't know. Still, it looks cute, and yeah, it's going to finally be coming out in the early of 2021. Super Nintendo World has delayed its opening indefinitely. There is no hard date that says when it will open now. This is updated recently, actually within the past few days. They said, look, we can't open, we're not gonna, we don't know when we are, so stop asking. Wow, that's crazy. But some aerial photos from, I'm assuming like a helicopter or something, have been taken of it, and damn if it does not look ready to go. It looks super, super cool. It almost looks really out of place though because it's so vibrant and crazy looking compared to the rest of the park. But if you didn't know, Universal Studios Japan will be hosting a whole Nintendo themed area, which seems to primarily be Mario focused, but either way, it looks awesome. They did this crazy promotional video. It was supposed to open up this year or something like that. I don't know what's going on with it now, but yeah, I don't know. This looks crazy. The actual photos look awesome, but it does suck that they are going to have to push that opening back. But hopefully that just means that by the next time I go to Japan, I get to go visit this Super Nintendo World so I can show up in there and be like, yo, I'm trying to stomp on some Goombas, if you know what I'm saying. Thwomp it up. 2 times 2 equals Shinobuden. That was actually pretty dope. Let me do that again. 2 times 2 equals Shinobuden. It's actually a really cute anime and manga series that started back in like 2000. Hilariously, the mangaka behind this series is actually named Ichi Koga. And if you understand anything about ninjas, you know that Koga is definitely a pretty big ninja meme. But no, it would seem that they are going to make a new series of the manga, which is awesome. I only had my exposure to this back in like the early 2000s. I think it was like 2004 or 5. When I saw the show 2 times 2 equals Shinobuden, which was really hilarious. It was one of those early 2000s anime that was just goofy and funny and a little fan servicey, but ultimately just fun. And I loved it. And I feel like nobody I've ever met has known what the hell I was talking about when I mentioned it, but it's certainly worth a watch. And I'm so excited to see that they're going to make more of the manga because maybe, hopefully, praying they could make more of the anime. Or anime, or manga. Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 is going to be a real thing. Featured at Bit Summit Gaiden was a new trailer for what will be the Azure Striker Gunvolt 3, which actually looks really, really good so far. I'm assuming that it's kind of early because it says that they're in development. There's no dates right now, as far as I could tell, but the graphics look amazing, super just almost comfy in a way. The way that it's portrayed looks really nice and clean, even though it is a pixel aesthetic. But yeah, it looks really cool. The previous games were wonderful, and it's certainly worth checking out if you haven't played them before. But there's actually going to be a new character in this one, a female protagonist named Kirin, which is interesting. She looks pretty cool, but of course, we have our main boy showing back up again as well. It's lots of fun robot shooting and crazy Mega Man inspired action from Inti Creates. But yeah, look forward to that because it looks pretty dope. And speaking of NT Creates, I also talked about Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2, which is actually not Bloodstained 2, it's Curse of the Moon 2, which is the sort of spin-off, old school retro Castlevania-esque style game that they made after they made Bloodstained, but whatever. So the second one I talked about previously, they said it was coming soon, they didn't have a release date, but now they do, and it's coming out July 10th, so that's pretty damn soon, so you better saddle up and beat the first one now because the new one's gonna be banging. Toei Kyoto Studio Park is going to be offering a new attraction that is Evangelion inspired. Now, it's kind of hard to explain it as anything other than a life-size replica of Evangelion Unit 1's sort of bust. And it's sort of just like floating out of a pool of LCL, which if you're an Eva fan, you know what that is. I don't need to explain these things to you. And it's just kind of sitting there, but it's also got its hand coming out of the water as well. And you can evidently take photos, of course, inside of the entry plug, which is cool. There's like a little entry plug area that you can sit. You can also take another photo in the hand of the Eva. And it would seem that right now there's going to be like premium tickets for people to get in early, but it will be opening up in October this year. It looks super cool. Apparently they also have like shows that go on where angels are fighting with like special effects and water cannons and whatnot. But this looks awesome. The Eva actually looks really cool. It's like 50 foot tall, and that's pretty impressive. It looks pretty badass. And I need to go back to Japan so I can get in there because also apparently you can also find out what your sync ratio is. And if I know anything about myself, a Class A Ace Eva pilot with plenty of mental instability, I would probably have a pretty good sync ratio with my Eva. But my mom's alive, so you know, that might kind of screw up my ratios. I'm just saying, bless you, Mom, nothing happened to you. Finally, the fashion magazine Anan, it actually featured a photo of Motoko Kusanagi on the front, which is really nice. It's a really nice photo, actually. And of course, this is the same Motoko from the recent new addition to the Ghost in the Shell series, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045, which of course featured art from Ilya Kushinov. Now, evidently, the magazine will feature some articles where I guess they're talking to Shinji Aramaki and Kenji Kamiyama, who of course are the people that made Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, and of course this most recent iteration. And yeah, that's pretty awesome, as well as it's going to have an interview with Motoko's voice actress. So they're going to talk to Atsuko Tanaka, and additionally, they're even going to talk to our boy Takanori Nishikawa from TM Revolution, because evidently he's a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell, which makes sense because last I heard he was an anime ambassador, which is kind of hilarious. That was at like Otakon years ago. But either way, this is pretty awesome. I just thought it was a cute little thing to end things off with. And yeah, I'd like a copy of this because that photo of her is rather nice. And that, my friends, is going to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, if you want to drop a comment, make sure to do that. Talk about that 400 subscribers we got. Make some kind of joke. Let's keep going. Let's get 800 in the next couple months because this has been a slog to get to where we are now. If you want, you can even comment about my shirt. It has Daijin and Fujin on it, which looks really badass. I love this shirt. I got this in Harajuku, at the same store that I got my Frieza Sukajan. But again, thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. I do love you all so much, regardless of if you're a hater talking about how dumb I look with long hair, or talking about how my shirt was ugly, or talking about how I need to hang out with FaZe Banks if I want to drink his delicious G Fuel. I don't care, whatever. If it's one of you guys, everybody who's been here with me this whole time, and everybody who's joining, thank you so much. Let's keep this thing going. And yeah, I love you all. If you want to watch something, I'm going to link it right here. I'm going to go to bed, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't joined the Discord, that's going to be in the below links. And get ready because a new series is starting very soon on this channel. Sayonara.